Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another tale of Curse of Strahd. Today is our chapter 5, and we enter a false hope. Our heroes, in the last chapter, I should say, our heroes went to Castle Ravenloft by an invitation sent from Strahd himself. When they arrived, things weren't quite as they seemed. They ended up participating in a game, which led them to find the 3 people in their party that they arrived with that were now in Strahd's clutches. They attacked the Lord North and freed the 2 paladins that were tasked with protecting him. Through further study, they came to understand that Lord North wasn't actually the man that they thought he was. It was some type of illusion casted. I don't know. It's not too certain. But the body ended up disappearing. Lady St. Cloud arrived with a young boy who called himself Merrick, and he went to address Mazera because she was looking quite pale. Lady St. Cloud was able to inform them that they still had a bit of time left before Strahd's game would be over, and they would most likely not be welcomed at the castle as they were. So, using that sparing time, young Merrick was able to lead them down to the dungeon area in the lower portion of the castle to retrieve the actual Lord North, to which they were able to all escape out of the castle and make their way back to the town of Barovia. And yeah, things got a little bit weird. Zashida decided to, wind down, get a bath after all that combat, relax a bit. And during that time, the tavern was attacked by some type of shady mist and zombie-esque creature. The other party members were able to assist with taking down these creatures. However, to their, to their unwanting, basically, as they explored the rest of the tavern and made their way downstairs, everybody that was there was more or less mutilated in some degree or some fashion. No one was really killed in the same way. However, it didn't leave a good settling, feeling in the hearts of our heroes. And to make matters worse, as they went to go check up on Lord North and the two guards that were tasked with protecting him, they entered an empty room with an open window and no sign of either of the three. And that's where we open up, because things aren't quite as what they seem. Let's see. I am muted in Discord, but now that the recap
His brother.
Okay, so Sheeta's gonna live.
And it's live. There we go.
What did you roll?
I rolled 22.
Nice.
We're rolling survival to see if we will survive today.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, welcome, chat. Welcome to our demise.
Where you will play witness to. No, I'm joking. So I just did the recap, and y'all are currently at the tavern, and to much of your unease, you're able to get a full night's rest. If you have not already, you can do a long rest on your character sheets, because I know it's been a minute.
All right.
But yes, you more or less wake up to a new day, a new dawn, a new shady setting.
A new batch of
regardless of how much it's supposed to be daytime, it's never really represented in the outside atmosphere. So, Yep, you're all able to wake up relatively easily. What do you all want to do?
All right. Well, I think we all need to decide on what we're going to be doing in regards to tasks, because we still have what's his name's sister, right? That we need to escort.
If she's alive.
If she's alive. Secondly, we need to take care of Mazura's condition.
That should be fine.
Yeah, we should probably take care of that.
And then we have to see what's up with our tarot cards that we got from Madame Eva.
Our what cards?
The cards, the tarot reading cards.
Tarot.
Whatever.
List of stuff.
Yeah, we have quite the few days ahead of us. So as soon as we wake up, before Milo does anything, I would like to do Divine Sense. Do I notice any, celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of me?
Nope.
Okay. Milo's gonna head downstairs to the kitchen and try to gather up as much food as he can find. Food and drink.
Roll an investigation check.
Man, that was almost a 1.
Milo don't see shit.
18.
You're able to get roughly 5 days worth of rations for the group of you.
Okay. So there'd be 20 portions of ration?
Who eats?
Well, yeah. So
Or is it
15
just
portions.
5? What if it's just 5 total?
5 just like group rations. But yeah, however you want to devise it. If
Okay.
it's 20
Because
or
yeah, because I think
15 or
technically
you can
I
eat
still
5
have
times.
with the adventurers pack I have X amount of rations already in there, so I'll just leave that as 10 and then we'll just count that as stuff I've scavenged.
All right.
Okay. Do I find any alcohol with that roll as well, or?
Were you looking for alcohol?
I was searching through well, I was looking for food and drink. Bottles of alcohol would be kind of near water.
Investigation check.
You want me another investigation check
Yeah, 'cause
to
you
look
didn't
in the same
specify
area?
You were looking for booze.
I believe. Roll the tape back. Somebody roll the
I was
tape
about
back
to
for
say,
me.
let's just think about his character.
6.
You're able to find 2 bottles of wine.
Okay.
Most of the disarray you're having to pick over everything because it's either covered in blood or shattered to pieces. So
A little blood never hurt no one.
Okay.
Rich in iron, if you would.
How long are we gonna be chilling here?
I guess until everyone wakes up. But Sashida is waking up just now, and she's gonna go check on Mazura and see how she's doing.
Since Klugel sleeps less than all of you, he's just tinkering in the corner as normal.
Morning, Klugel.
No words. Just tinkering.
Morning, Mazura.
Morning, Zashida.
How are you feeling this morning?
As well as can be expected. Just have concerns.
I think we all have some concerns.
I'm concerned about my current condition, but I'm also concerned that I may get more visions.
And Zashida kind of gives her a pat. If you do, you're not alone. Just remember that. Well, we're here to help you.
Thank you.
Perhaps we should go see if we can get something to eat before we get going.
Yes.
And Zashida kind of looks up. Kluger, are you coming too?
Yeah, I'll be right there, as I'm just kind of like messing with some bits and bobs. But I'll be right behind them.
I guess we're all gonna head downstairs into the kitchen.
Okay. There you see Milo, who's more or less set everything aside as far as the different rations and things.
Well, someone's been busy. Morning, Milo.
Good morning. Sorry, it took me a second to remember the voice. Good morning. Yeah. Sleep was a fickle mistress, if you'd say. But,
I'm
was able
sorry
to
to
find
hear.
some food here. Yeah, we'll, no, it'll be alright. One night's not too bad. He just kind of like points out to the other, to the rations he has laid out. I know you're not, you don't do meat, correct?
I prefer not to. But, well, if it's necessary.
Alright. Those there, and he kind of points to kind of some stuff that he kind of bundled up with some of the rations he found. That's mostly bread and a bit of cheese I was able to find. That one there's a bit more of the meats kind of salted. See how long we can make that last. And then there's a bit of veg, but I don't imagine that's going to last long. So we probably should start with that.
Of course.
And then, well, we got these. And then he kind of holds up 2 bottles of wine. They're not labeled, but they smell like wine. So we got that.
Sounds like a wonderful time. She says, like, with a smirk.
That'd help wash down some of the bread. Who knows?
All right, well, we got food. We're all up. What do y'all want to do?
Klugel, is he down yet, or
Yeah,
is he still upstairs?
I'm down there.
Hey, Klugel, you're have a way with mechanical things. You know, if you think you can make that carriage out there work, or at least understand it enough to make it function properly.
I'm sure I could try to tinker with it. I mean, nothing I can't handle with like an air of confidence.
Yeah, because I was
Nah.
gonna say, because that'd make traversing this a hell of a lot easier. I mean, I'd be able to move at the same speed we had with old Pablo, but something tells me it'd be faster than walking.
I guess the other question is, what are we starting with? May I suggest maybe one of the more time-sensitive things, and I kind of gesture towards Mazera.
That I'd agree. I think we should settle our own problems before taking on problems of others.
Yeah,
And I do start heading out to the wagon to go take a look at it.
do we... Bugle? Is that the... Or no, Bugle Master's son. No, not... Bugle Master's son. Ismark? Ismark, that's what I'm thinking of. Was Ismark amongst the bodies that we found?
Not that y'all couldn't see.
Okay. Milo's actually going to begin kind of moving the bodies outside.
I thought we already did that and kind of like said a prayer for them.
Oh, we did do that. We did do that at the end. Never mind.
Yeah, y'all like stacked them on one or the other side of the tavern and did your prayers for them.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure. I was like, did we leave them where they lied? Because
Yep.
that's real sketch. That's just asking for them to come back up. Okay. Okay, so we didn't see his body. Well, I mean, no, we did talk to Ismark about his sister Irina, if I'm not mistaken. But at the same time, I don't even know if they're still alive. I don't know how much of the town has been affected by whatever the hell that was last night.
I don't know.
Well, obviously, Mezra,
Yes,
how are you feeling?
I'm feeling alright.
Any fever, cold sweats, anything like that?
Not yet.
Alright.
I'm
Well,
sure if she were to feel ill, she would let us know.
Yeah, but Mezra, I'm not meaning this as an insult. You seem like the type who would stay quiet because you don't want to trouble us with any ailment that you may or may not be feeling well.
Understand your concerns.
He just, Milo just kind of like slides some food towards her. And then as he starts to kind of pick at the food that he's got in front of him. Regardless, probably eat up now and hopefully, Klugel can, have some good news for us in the carriage.
Fully.
Real question is, what do you want me to roll, DM, to mess with this carriage? Because I am messing with it.
Can I have you roll perception? I should do the initiative.
Oh no, 3. Small brain. And I have a +3. Okay, yep, that's a.
It takes a while, like you're, I guess, elbow deep in fixing this carriage, but you hear the approaching footsteps of a horse and carriage coming towards the tavern.
Does Sheeta hear this too? Because I was gonna say after she was done eating, since it did take him a little while, she was gonna go out and check on him.
Roll a perception check.
20.
Yeah, you're probably able to notice it a lot sooner than Klugel is.
As I notice it, I'm gonna slide all the way under the cart as to try to conceal myself.
Roll a stealth check.
Oh god. Let's go, robot. 17, hey.
Sneaky robot.
Nice.
What's that second number for?
In case
it
I have
was-
advantage.
yeah.
It's auto advantage.
Oh, okay. I was super confused. I was like, why is there always 2 numbers? Alright, sorry.
You're fine.
Um,
But yeah, under the cart.
So yeah, this horse and carriage arrives and stops just short of the tavern. Zashida, have you roll a insight check?
5.
Oh no.
They're friends!
Through some effort on your part, you're able to notice that no one's riding this cart or like steering it. It's like horses by itself.
Zushida carefully approaches the carriage
Um,
and opens it.
You see that like the embroidery on it and everything is kind of like elegant. As you open the door, you see a moderately dressed, well dressed, Lady St. Cloud sitting there, just by herself in the carriage. Good morning.
Good morning.
And she eases her way out of the door and makes her way out of the carriage to stand next to you.
What are you doing here, if you don't mind me asking?
I was heading to Valaki today, and I think you might need a ride.
And I mean, yeah. Sushida's like, yeah, but well, I'm pretty sure we do need a ride, but I'm gonna probably have to check in with the others and see if they're awake yet. One moment, please. And
Stands.
Sushida goes inside, closes the door. Mazura, Milo.
Milo just kind of looks up, like, after clearing the plate and kind of putting it away.
Lady St. Cloud is outside.
Milo draws his hammer.
She's Sushida kind of like holds out her hand, like, wait a minute. She's offering us a ride to Valaki? What was it called?
Valaki, I think is.
Valaki? Yeah. But yeah, she's just basically like she's offering us a ride. And I'm not entirely sure where Klugel is in regards to the carriage outside.
Klugel went sneak mode.
I'm peeking out, but I'm not moving. I don't trust this. I didn't see her.
I think she meant more of like how far he is into getting it like working. More of like I don't know where he went. Like,
yeah, more or less.
Yeah. I won't lie to you. I'm a little hesitant, to say the least.
I understand, because I feel the exact same way.
I mean, she did help me to conceal the injury on my neck.
Yeah, but she also works for the main, well, Strahd, so that is, there's a lot of conflicting interest here.
Yeah, what options do we have?
Milo
That is true.
Milo kind of hangs his head like, you got a point.
Without Pablo, we can't navigate the fog.
Yep. And, this ought to be interesting, to say the least.
Don't get me wrong. I know she does work for Strahd. However, she hasn't done anything personally to hurt us.
Mono kind of like gnaws on his lip, just kind of like mulling it over. He puts his hammer away, like he kind of sheaths his hammer, I guess. Rehooks his hammer back to wherever it was. Well, I think I'm gonna be outvoted here by the two of you, and something tells me Klugel ain't exactly worried about becoming undead. So, can a Warforged come undead?
I don't know.
Milo just kind of looks up and just kind of like looking off into the distance, like trying to think it out. Like, well, I mean, it's not a disease, but it's also he's not like like it doesn't have skin. It doesn't really bite through. You know what? I don't even care. I'm racking my brain about something that doesn't matter. You know what? Give it a shot. I mean, never. He stops himself before he's saying like the worst thing that could happen, or like what's uttering those words to tempt fate. What's the? You know what? I'm just gonna stop there. We've seen too much already.
So she was just like, "That's probably for the best, Milo."
All right. Well, maybe we do one last pass over the tavern, make sure we ain't leaving anything of value behind, then guess hit the road.
Right. Well, I guess we'll wait for you outside then.
All right.
Shall we go then, Mazura?
I'd like to help Milo check.
Very well. Well, I'll wait for you outside then.
Yeah, so Milo's just gonna kind of look over the rest of the tavern, make sure, like, to see if there's anything, I guess anything of important, like weaponry, anything of, anything that kind of looked important or that might help in the journey going forward, I guess. As far as, like, any maps, any sort of, like, I guess books, maybe? This is a tavern. I don't know if there's going to be any books, but like anything that would kind of help going forward in understanding where they are or where they might need to be.
Both of you roll a investigation check.
A 1. Not a nat
Fine.
1, but just a 1.
Let's see.
I find nothing.
Mazura, you're able to find trying to think if there would be anything useful for y'all to have. Let's go with, as you're exploring the tavern, on one of the tables, you're able to find a book of, I guess, children's tales of Barovia. And inside it's just various, children stories about really bad things that happen in Barovia.
It's not spooky at all.
So it's just like...
Now, is this like the grim adventures of, or is this just like...
more or less. Like, the book details, like, adventuring children, that just happen upon these, grueling scenes, but they try and, like, facade it with a, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I guess it's more of a, is this the grim adventures, or is this a Disney-fied version?
Definitely more grim adventures than Disney.
Okay, so it's not like, oh no, it wasn't that bad. It was totally, no, it was very nice. It's very lovely out there. They're not at all terrible. Got it.
But other than that, you're not able to find anything of note that you wouldn't consider to be just like extra baggage at this point.
Milo kind of walks over to Mizra as she has the book. Well, anything that'll give us something to read on the ride.
I don't know if it's worth reading. It's rather grim.
Yeah, who knows? There's always a little bit of truth in these old children's stories.
Makes it more frightening.
You're not wrong. Milo just kind of begins walking out. Real. Let's go see what the day has in store for us, shall we?
Yes.
Milo walks outside and
Mazera follows.
Is Klugel still under the...
Yeah, I was about to
upon
say,
seeing
like,
everyone come out, I kind of like come out, and considering they don't have their weapons drawn, I'm considering it safe. I'm still like sneaking up to the cart, but I'm like, well, it's probably not too dangerous. I am coming out, yes.
I was about to say, because I'm pretty sure Sushido would try to find him.
like, I swear he was in the front somewhere.
Ah, Klugel, there you are.
Ah, yes, and I look over obviously to Miss St. Cloud, and I'm like, oh, so what's happening?
Well, she offered us a ride.
Ah, that's good, because I have absolutely no clue how that thing works.
Ah, that's, rather unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just some undiscovered science.
Right. Well, we're just waiting for the others to finish up in the inn, and then I guess we'll be on our way.
Sounds good, I guess. Have we come to consensus about where we're going?
I'm pretty sure we're on our way to Vallaki.
Ah. You got it.
And since it didn't take roughly too long for them to explore the rest of the tavern, Milo and Mazera are able to come out and join the rest of the party.
Find anything useful in there?
It's this creepy book of children's tales.
Mind if I take a look?
She hands her the book.
So she just starts, skimming through it, and as she's reading, the expression on her face turns from like, oh, okay, to like, what? And then she's just like, oh dear.
No. Just like Mama used to write.
Oh no.
These are, interesting children's stories.
Interesting is one word for it.
And she kind of gives the book back to Mazera.
I assume I don't want to know.
No.
Honestly, you might.
Let me see that.
No!
And Mazera hands him the book.
We get moving. I'm just gonna skim through it as we're moving wherever we're going.
So, Miss St. Cloud, if I may ask, why are you heading to Vallaki?
I have to deliver another letter for Strahd, there.
I
Could
see.
we potentially talk not out in the open like this?
Letter just says, stop curing vampirism.
Mazera gets into the carriage.
Yep.
Guess we're all going into the carriage.
Going to the place that's bugged. All right, guys.
Y'all find that this carriage is a lot bigger than the one that y'all were in previously. You kind of have like room to
Pablo tried his best, okay?
Pablo trash. This place great.
Oh no. But yes, I guess all of y'all make your way into the carriage.
Yep.
And, before I do take a peek at the book, I'm just going to kind of be pretty blunt with Miss St. Cloud. I'm like, so, why are you helping us? Aren't you, like, Strahd's maid? Helper? Not with us? Against us, really?
I have nothing against you all personally. I have to work with Strahd for my own dealings.
But wouldn't it behooves you to not help? Well, why would you want to help us?
Plot twist, she's a warlock.
Because I can offer the help?
Couldn't you just leave us to our own vices? I mean, live or die? That doesn't matter to you.
Potentially, but at the same time, I don't really have any allegiance to Strahd. I'm more or less, in my own predicament.
Fair enough. We all have our own agendas. And I go to start reading a nice little book. Mixed facial emotions and all.
Very nice.
Oh no! You tell my mind, I'm just like, this isn't science.
Oh, no. But yeah, the carriage starts headed towards Valaki. Kind of have that awkward moment where you're all just sitting there in silence.
So, lovely weather we're having.
Milo just laughs.
Mazera half believes that she's serious about the weather and she's questioning it.
For chat's purposes, the weather's not very nice. It's still like murky, cloudy, like dreary England days with a sense
Still
of
just
horror in
perpetual darkness. Like, Milo pulls out his flask and kind of takes a sip of it as they're riding, offers it around the cab.
So, how long is it going to take for us to get to Valaki?
It should be roughly half a day's travel.
The rest of your lives.
Bum, bum, bum. So, got a question there for you, if I may. What do you know about tarot cards?
Tarot cards?
Yeah.
It depends. They could just be regular cards, or if there's a fortune attached, they could be something different altogether.
I mean, do you know of anybody who, or I guess a lady who would do tarot card readings in the area? You seem pretty knowledgeable on everybody in the general region around here, so you know if she's actually, well, I guess more of is she a swindler, or what she's saying actually true? Or have any validity to it?
I take it you're speaking of Madame Eva.
Yes.
Milo nods. Yep, that'd be the one. I didn't want to name her just in case, like, that would, like, bad things happen. Like,
Hit the nail
She
on
shows
the
up
head.
like,
All right.
You said my name,
just like-
Booga Booga.
well, no, not that. Like, more of like, Lady St. Cloud's eyes flash red. Like, you did what? Like, oh
The
god.
activation word has been spoken.
activated my trap card.
It's like, you done fucked up. I wasn't supposed to know about her yet. Murder. Vampire murder in a small carriage. You can't escape. Good luck drawing your hammer in here.
You guys can't escape. I'm going out the door. Bye. I got the AC for this.
Oh my goodness.
Take your plate.
So she looks at you, and Madame Eva's tarot card readings are, to say the least, definitely accurate. It depends on if the travelers are able to decipher them or not. That's where things get tricky.
Would you know how far the Abbey of St. Markovia is from Vallaki?
Abbey of St. Markovia.
Got like a little buffering wheel on her forehead, and she's calculating.
As I'm looking up actual maps. Oh wait, I have the drop down map over here. Barovia map.
Oh, this map.
Yeah, the huge. Well, I can't really go over anymore. Okay.
Well, no, I forgot it was in Roll20. I forgot it was there.
Oh, the map that y'all were given?
Yeah.
Yeah. Depending, could be roughly a day's travel.
Well, that's not terrible.
That's if you're going by carriage, of course, I assume.
Just for hee-haws, how long would it take on foot? Just
I would
hypothetically, of course.
recommend going by foot. Strahd has a lot of playthings that wander around Barovia. But if you were maybe half a week's travel, give or take.
We're heading up to N on the map, correct? Vallaki?
Yeah.
That's what we said? Okay. I'm sorry, I don't see a legend. Like, I don't see a legend on there to, like, name what stuff is, so I was, like, super confused. Well, at least with some of where these things are. Okay. Well.
Well, if that's the case, then we're gonna have to get the carriage as soon as we get to Vallaki.
Yeah, we definitely need horses at a minimum.
I'm sure we could find a guide. Pablo can't be the only guy who can run through the mist.
Yeah, very true.
Pablo was the only one. I'm joking.
Hush, we don't know that.
Wait, are you serious right now?
No, I'm just being facetious.
I was about to be like, fuck you. How you gonna like just kill him then? Like, not even give us a chance to like save him. Like, then it'd been a petty thing. If I'd let him die, then you guys can talk shit. Like, you let the one guy. I did not like the turtle.
He was good turtle.
He was turtle.
He's a dead turtle.
Oh!
He is now soup.
Klugel's new accent is Russian.
He is now soup,
No, no.
complete with bowl.
What?
She wants the bowl, get it? Anyway,
Turtle is only food that comes with own dish.
I hand the book back to Mazer. I'm like, that is, why did we keep this?
I don't know.
Interesting to
No.
say the least.
Never know. Might come in handy at some point.
Yes, if you want to keep a child awake at night.
Maybe we could scare Strahd with it. Oh.
Might be. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We don't know how rare this book is. We might be able to trade it, sell it,
True.
or simply use it as a distraction. Here, read this book.
Leave. Perfect trap.
Chuck it at somebody's head and run the other way.
Ah!
Better yet, we open it up. We point to a word. Hey, can you read this for me? And then as they lean down to read the word, you smack them in the face with the book, and then you keep running.
We have a good plan. We're
Gotcha,
ready for
nerd.
Strahd.
And then you
Let's
run.
go. Let's go back to the castle, guys. We got this.
Yeah, well, you know what? You head on there first, and we'll. Okay, so we didn't keep the cards, right?
We kept them.
Yeah, y'all
I
We
think.
did keep them.
I mean, y'all kept
Okay.
your individual card, and then one of you have like the Strahd card.
Yeah, I have that written down. I don't know if I actually have it.
Yeah, the cards aren't showing up on our thing. That and my notes got destroyed. So neat. All I know is Nick's son is Prince Langshark, and Bob, Tom, and Lord North.
I do not. Yeah, I'm not seeing it in.
I
No.
have corrected notes, is what I'm trying to say. Sad day.
'Cause you had a sad day. All right, I'll just say I have the card. Fuck it, just because I have the marionette Jack of Hearts. Milo, I guess will pull out the Three of Swords and just kind of look at the card, kind of flipping it around, trying to figure, I guess, thinking about the clue of the, go to the mountains, climb the White Tower guarded by golden knights. Actually, while he's thinking about that, he skims through the book to see if he can find a story with golden knights and a White Tower.
Roll a investigation check.
God, why? I need to make my guy smarter. I need that. What's that headband of super smartness? I need it.
Intellect, and it only gives you 18.
It's better than the 8.
Klugel already got 18 intelligence. Big brain.
6.
Nothing stands out to that degree to where you would say, oh, that's the story I need to read.
Well, maybe not like that's okay. All right, fair enough.
But Lady St. Cloud looks over at Mazera. The Abbey, it's in Kresh. Just so you're aware.
Right.
Wait, what'd you just say? I'm sorry.
The Abbey of St. Markovia. It's in
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that Mazera and Zashida have to head to that area for their turrets. Whatever, the
Tarot. Yes.
whatever.
Caro.
Tomato.
Potato card! I don't know what my tarot card said. So, yeah.
Well, I think Klugel's had to do with the Von Richen Tower.
Wait, you can't open your thingamajig and look in notes, and under other it says Master of Stars, Wizard, Klugel, and then everybody has the Marionette, Strahd, Jack of Hearts, description.
Is this on Roll20 or?
Is this
Oh, no,
D&D
this is
Beyond?
D&D Beyond.
Ah, I'm looking at the wrong notes.
God.
Master. Got it. Yep, found it. Okay.
Oh.
How high's your intelligence again?
See, intelligence ain't. It's book smart. That ain't smart smarts. Straight's dumb. That's wisdom. I got a 0.
But
I ain't street
Kugel's
smart.
intelligence is 18, so...
I ain't street smart. I book smart. It's different.
Street smarts.
No, not street smart. Even more charisma, -1. But constitution is 3 because I'm thick boy. Anyway, got it. Yeah, it's look for a wizard's tower on a lake. The wizard's name and servant guide you to what you seek. So I'll ask her. She seems nice enough. She'll be like, so this I see there's a tower in Lake Baratok. Would that be this?
Oh, your accent, Lady Sankana.
Man.
Let's do some of this and some of this. Paste it.
Quack.
What the cat?
What the heck? For Wizard's Tower on the let the wizard's name guide you to that which you seek. Um. She looks at you and says, "You probably will need to go to the south for this particular card."
Talking like, and I'm looking at the map like Luna Lake or.
Sure. Yeah, probably Luna Lake would be the best accurate area to go to.
All right.
I'm thinking
Thank
it's
you.
more like X, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm just, I'm looking at the map. Yeah.
So, what did Madame Eva do after she gave you your readings?
Why do you ask?
More or less because if she didn't give you clues, then you're more or less reliant on the inhabitants of Barovia rather than actually knowing if that's the place that you need to go. Noted, I don't have any discord towards you, but that's not to say that all residents here might not lead you astray for their own desires.
Well, all that happened was she read our readings, gave us the cards, and left.
I see.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it seems that you all have quite a bit on your plate.
You say that again.
Well,
I
it
guess
seems that you are.
Milo kind of just kind of puts his shield, like he's just kind of like crosses his arms, kind of like tucks himself in the corner, like trying to rest, I guess, in the carriage ride. Like still listening, but he's also like still tired.
Mhm.
So he's just kind of like clocking out, waiting until we arrive.
Yep. And Zashida's just gonna look through the window of the carriage, just keeping an eye out on things.
Okay.
Although she can't see shit because of the fog, but you know. You never know.
And Klugel and Mazera?
Mazer is just going to apologize for the additional trouble that she's caused by being bit.
To Lady St. Cloud?
To basically everyone in the
Oh, okay.
carriage.
I was like,
Google is looking at the map. He's like, man, here.
Zashida kind of turns to Mazera, like, there's nothing to be sorry for. It's not like you were planned to get bit.
Milo
Did
pokes him. Milo cracks an eye open. Or at least I sure hope you weren't.
And Zashida kind of gives him a look.
He cracks a smile, like a little, like a grin, like to convey he was joking.
And Zashida kind of just gives him a raised brow, like, mm-hmm.
And then he just,
like that sassy mom look, like.
Uh-huh. You lucky I don't, like, wait till we get home. Wait till we get home. He closes his eye again and then still kind of grinning and then just kind of like goes back to kind of resting.
It won't be long before we get to Vallaki. And once we get there, we should be able to cure you. So I wouldn't worry too much.
so without much sidetrackings, y'all are able to make your way to the village of Vallaki, roughly by a little after noontime, and the carriage arrives.
And how's the hustle and bustle of the town? Is it the same as like
Everyone's dead.
I was gonna say, some would say that it's dead quiet.
Oh,
There's a lot of people moving about throughout the. Is it a village? Well,
is it a
regardless.
village or a town?
There's a lot of people moving about it. Be about it.
Are they just as soulless as the residents in the last town we were in?
Not necessarily. There's like some people that aren't, moving with a sense of purpose, but it's a lot more lively than the last town that you were in, or village. I guess.
Guess now's
Gotcha.
a good time to see if we're cursed or not. Maybe this place will get attacked too.
No.
The carriage comes to its stop.
The cheetah gets off.
That we arrived.
Thank you for the ride.
Not a problem, my dear.
And Mazera gets off.
Google hops off. Doesn't really say much.
Before Milo leaves the carriage, he kind of just looks back at Lady St. Cloud. You wouldn't happen to have known. Why am I blanking on the Lord's name now?
Lord North?
Yeah.
Lord, was it Lord North?
Yep. Bob,
Yeah.
Tom, and Lord North.
Yeah, Bob, Tom, Lord North. Thank you very much. You wouldn't happen to know anything that happened to Lord North, would you?
Was he the man that you took from the dungeons?
Yes, he was.
Last I saw him was when he was leaving with you all from the castle.
He just kind of lets out a deep sigh. All right.
Something the matter?
Well, when we got back after the castle, we were attacked by a shade of some sort, as well as at least one undead. After the shade had retreated away from us, and we came out, well, everybody in the tavern was dead, and when we went to check on Lord North and the two paladins, their window was shattered, blood was in the room, and their bodies were nowhere to be found. So, yeah, I was hoping you could shed a little light on it. But it's all right. We'll, I'm sure they'll turn up somewhere. And he puts on a smile, but while his mouth is smiling, his eyes are just fucking dead.
Dead eyes.
Yeah, they're like, it's dead eyes. Like he's putting on a fake mask, but he's trying to play like he's fine.
Well, not to put your mind at ease or anything, but the things out here in these lands, they seem to focus more on the adventurous. So I imagine this Lord North might be used against you in the future, I would have to say, considering Strahd's more interested in you all than he is of the three that were at the castle.
Milo just kind of he lets out a chuckle. Was that supposed to put me at ease?
Well, I did say
So you
not
might-
to put your mind at ease. It's not a settling feeling to be.
Yeah, say, is common your first language? I feel like something might have got lost in translation on that one.
By
But,
Strahd.
I appreciate it. He's already like this lady is he's just like this lady just oozes depression. One last thing. Would you
Actually, wait, no. She already said where Morganath was earlier, right? That's where we could find her, or was I crazy and misheard that?
Yeah, she said you could find her in Valaki.
Well, like in Valaki, she say like where in Valaki, or she was just in Valaki?
Just in Valaki.
Milo asked,
you happen to know a little bit more where in this town that she'd be? Morganatha? Did I say her name 7 times to try to get it right?
I thought it was Morgantha.
I probably just butchered the spelling.
Let's see.
Shocking to everyone I know.
She has a habit of turning up. Typically when you least expect it. Not to be cryptic, but that's just how she operates.
Milo laughs once again.
Once again, I swear Common cannot be your first language.
Yes, but if I gave you any type of direct thing, it would most likely be a lie.
Oh, you always got to worry about a liar lying about lying, or a liar lying about telling the truth. Always fun.
Does your mind
Well,
really work like this on a day-to-day basis?
It's quite nauseating, honestly. Well, Lady St. Cloud, I better do, and wish you safe travels.
Thank you. Same for you.
Milo hops out the carriage and kind of closes the door behind him.
Were the others of y'all just standing outside of the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're waiting for him. As he does join the group, I'm like, you ever get the feeling she maybe wants us to kill Strahd, but can't directly say she wants us to kill Strahd?
Could
Honestly,
be a possibility.
I don't know what she wants us to do, honestly. But regardless, I guess Morgantha, thank you. Morgana Lana Lana Lana.
I'm like,
We'll
where's
quote
this Lana
show-
coming
That's her new name now. Morgana la 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 la.
Oh,
Morgana
no.
Lana Lana Lana. She going to Lady St. Cloud shows up when you least expect it. So, you know, super useful, not at all cryptic. So, I guess we'll head into town and kind of go from there.
Maybe somebody else will be able to give us more information.
Yeah, but something tells me we might. I don't know if we'd want to ask for her by name.
Maybe you're
No.
right.
Because, I mean, something tells me if we just go around asking, hey, do you know Morgana Lana Lanatha? The lady who can cure vampires? Somebody might not like us asking those kind of questions.
Well, then it's going to be very difficult trying to pinpoint where she is.
I mean, she's obviously dabbles in, I don't know, would it be herbs, maybe? A healer?
Perhaps.
Maybe we should just ask for a healer. And perhaps somebody will direct us to her.
Yes, probably our best bet. And,
Mesra's bite mark is covered, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just double checking. And then while we're out in this town, I'm gonna use my divine sense one more time and check to see, any celestial fiends or undead within 60 feet for the next minute, I believe.
Okay. As long as you're 60 feet away from the carriage, you don't really sense anything.
So only the undead coming from the carriage. Other than that, nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Milo looks over his shoulder back at the carriage.
I mean, that's not really news.
And then, I guess they just begin walking into town, I guess.
As you're walking into the town, there's lots of people, obviously, moving to and fro. Some people seem to be putting up banners. Others seem to be just like sweeping the dust off the dirt from the ground.
Okay. Tidying up, getting that loose dirt out of here.
Can't have any of
I've
that
seen it.
dirt.
Yeah, I've seen it. Okay. I guess I go up to. I assume there's are there any stalls, any shops, anything like that?
Yeah, there's plenty of different ones. Do y'all have the Valaki map? Yeah.
I do not believe so. No, I've only got Barovia.
I've got a hammer.
As you look at your Barovia map, it
Okay, I got Valaki
enhances
now.
and shows Valaki.
Okay. Which way did we come in from? Or I guess where are we at right now?
You would have been coming from like the N5 area, so the southeast entrance.
Okay. Okay. So where did they let us? Did she just let us out of the gate, or were we like in the town? Because I've got the map, the Valaki map pulled up. I'm just more where in Valaki are we? Did they drop us off?
Around the center of town, where like that conjugation is.
Okay. I'm gonna approach one of the stalls and just kind of. I would say like, I'm looking for like kind of like a food stall.
Okay.
And just kind of.
Yep. You find
Okay. Who? Can you give me a rundown of who the owner is?
just an older woman, has her hair pulled back in a messy bun. She's like sweeping a little bit.
Hi, pardon me, ma'am. I wondered if you might be able to help me out.
With what, young sir?
I'm looking for a healer in town. Do you happen to know anybody that might be able to help us out? Trying to get our hands on a couple potions and stuff like that.
You need like a potion shop?
Well, not necessarily a shop, more somebody who can show us how to make them, more or less. Like I don't want to just go to a stall and buy some. I'm trying to get it from an actual healer, herbalist, if you will.
Like an alchemist shop?
He smiles. Sure, yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh, well, there's one down the road. If you go down out of here, down a couple of blocks, and to your left, you'll see it right next to the field.
He kind of looks. So you're saying go down the road, hang to the left, and it's out by a field?
Yeah, the festival field.
That's near the southeast. The southeast? Is that what we're talking about?
No, that is near.
I'm just looking for the field. So like, I'm seeing I'm seeing a thing in the southeast with a bunch of stuff. Northeast with like an open fieldish thing, and then
The more northeast one, from where y'all are.
the northeast. Okay.
One that has like the 2 T's.
2 T's. You know what? Let me just pull up your stream. Okay, that is where I was looking. All right, cool. Well, thank you very much. I look at her stall. What does she got like hanging? Like, what
Dried
is she
fruits
selling?
and other vegetables variety.
She got like apples and something like that. Milo grabs or Milo kind of picks points out a couple of the fruit, like just a couple of hanging fruit. How much for these?
3 copper?
3 copper. 1 silver, 10 copper. All right, I'll take 2 orders of them, and I hand her a silver. And I just take 6 copper worth. You can keep the change for the information. It's much appreciated.
Thank you.
Milo smiles and kind of takes the fruit kind of back to the group. Well, first off, here you go. He hands it to Zashida.
Well, thank you.
And
Found anything out about the healer situation?
well, according to our nice sales lady over there, there's an alchemist shop over by a field that's roughly down that way towards the festival field. That I don't know if that's 100% who we're looking for, but at least in that way we might be able to get something a little closer to it.
All right, well, we should probably head over there then.
Well, let's go.
After you, she says with a smile.
Milo leads the way.
As you all head over in that direction, Mazerock, have you make a dexterity saving throw?
Oh dear God.
Okay.
What for?
Sudden bandits.
14. Okay. As you're walking, this young man kind of like almost bumps into you. He has a shovel in his hand.
Jesus.
He looks over
Sorry.
or looks down. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there."
It's all right.
And then he kind of like takes a couple of steps back, and then turns on heel and goes in the opposite direction that y'all are walking.
Does he seem to be in a hurry?
Yeah, but
Was there blood on him?
no, not from what you can see. He looked dirty, obviously. But
Does he seem a few pounds heavier?
a few pounds heavy.
Did he steal anything?
I mean, not from what you can see.
Okay. I take a look at the direction he came from. Does it look?
He kind of like dips into an alleyway between the direction that y'all were walking from. So not like on the main road.
Tashida immediately finds this suspicious. Kind of looks to
well-
Milo, giving him that look like, you think what I'm thinking?
Well, you do have the ability to shapeshift, right?
Yes.
You might be able to get a bird's eye view.
Tashida kind of gives him a wink, and she wild shapes into a bird.
Okay.
And she's going to follow the guy.
Before she gets 30 feet away, Milo telepathically says something to her. If something happens, for the love of all the gods, get back to us before engaging.
And Tashida kind of replies back, oh, you don't have to worry about me that much, Milo.
He just like nods and says out loud, "Sure." So Milo's just gonna, I guess, find a spot to kind of just sit and wait, just kind of chill until Zashida comes back.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So,
But before he stops that telepathic link, though, I do tell Milo to make sure Mazera checks her person to make sure nothing's missing or whatever.
Milo looks at Mezra. You mind checking your pockets real quick?
Sure.
Make sure the shoveler didn't do any pickpocketing.
What do I roll to check?
just an investigation check. Okay. Yeah, nothing seems to be out of place.
Everything seems to be there.
Zashida, make a investigation check as your aerial viewing.
16.
Yeah, you're able to locate him. He's kind of like sitting down behind one of the alleys on like a crate.
And She kind of like lands on the rooftop just above him. You know, acting like a bird, like a cute little bird. You know, cheep, cheep, chirp, chirp. Singing a lovely melody. You know, bird things. Singing the song of their people, you know.
He kind of like looks up in your direction, more at the sound than knowing that you're there. And then like shakes his head. Just like sets his shovel down into the ground and stretches a bit.
And I'm just gonna continue waiting. Seeing if he's waiting for anybody.
Roughly, I don't know how long you would wait. 10 or so minutes pass. And he's just like sitting there.
And Sashita's finally like, yeah, okay, I don't think there's anything wrong with this dude. Flies back.
Yeah, you're able to make it back to the group in not that long from when you left. Well, aside from the waiting.
Turns back to her regular self. Yeah, there was nothing strange about that man. He's just hanging out in the alleyway. Side quest failed.
A little odd, but guess it's all right. Fair enough. I guess maybe I'm just a little paranoid out here.
Am I a little paranoid? No.
Well, guess we'll head on to the alchemist then.
Right, let's get going.
Milo continues kind of walk towards roughly where the alchemist shop was kind of pointed out.
Outside of it, there are two relatively tall human men in like a mixture of wolf hide and leathers.
Oh dear.
One man has like a bow and arrows strapped to his back, and the other man has like two like hand axes kind of like at his side. And they're just sitting down, appears to be waiting for something. I don't know.
They're just sitting near the door. They're not like blocking it or anything like that.
Yeah, they're just sitting outside the alchemist shop.
Does the shop appear to be open?
Yeah, from what you can see, the door's open, and there's like just like a sign haphazardly showing that it's open.
Okay. Milo kind of glances at the group. Guess we should be a little wary.
Yes.
Milo's fucking paranoid of everything. I'm gonna be like, there's a group of children playing ball. It's like, you sure all
Is it a ball or is it a severed? Is it a severed head? We don't know.
Find out next time on
Hell no, it isn't.
how high is Milo's blood pressure.
I mean, I'm just playing the character. Like, all the shit that's happened to Milo recently. Yeah, Milo's not exactly feeling the greatest about any goddamn thing going on around him. Little thing called not liking any of it. Anyway, yeah. So Milo just kind of walks past them,
Okay.
kind of glancing at them, but not like not eyeballing them, just kind of glancing at them, just kind of giving a nod.
One of them like glances at you to acknowledge, but doesn't really like. It's more like a split-second thing. Oh, there's a halfling. And he goes back.
Yeah.
Yes, pay no attention to the robot.
Okay, note. These are not the droid you're looking for.
Pay no attention to the two halflings robot and wild animal lady walking into the shop.
Yeah, totally normal.
2 halflings, a robot, and a hippie are totally not at all going to draw suspicion.
Nope.
Okay, so we get inside. What are we seeing inside?
There's an old, elven male, kind of like graying hair, wearing like perched glasses, sitting behind one of the counters in there.
Anybody else in the shop?
No, from what you can see.
Okay.
It's funny because you're short.
Is it still? I guess time is weird to kind of keep track of here. Was it like afternoon time frame? Like what are we? Midday?
Yeah,
What are
like, you don't think the sun set it yet, or sunset
Okay.
yet?
I mean, when we arrived there, he said it was about afternoon when we got there, so.
Okay. I'm thinking about it. I was like, where's the sun? Not here. Shit. Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
No response.
It's gonna be one of these encounters.
Milo. Is he looking at Milo, or is he just not responding to Milo?
Sashida kind of like leans down. Perhaps he's deaf?
Roll a insight check.
Okay. 21. He's
Upon
racist against
further
halflings, isn't he?
notice, even though his like gaze is like looking at you, you kind of get the impression that he's asleep.
Milo kind of like walks to the side, like around the, not like around the counter, but like to the side of the counter to see if his gaze follows him.
Nah, it just looks out to where y'all entered
Yep.
the shop.
Yeah, it's just more of like a, I don't actually think he's awake.
Zashida kind of like walks up to the guy and kind of like snaps her fingers. Excuse me, sir.
An awkward moment goes by, and he's like,
She kind of like takes a couple steps back.
huh? He sees like Clue go by. Can I help you?
Yes, actually. She kind of looks over to Milo.
Sorry, sir. We didn't mean to scare you.
Gosh, why is your voice so deep? Did you swallow something?
Milo just smiles, remaining calm.
If it's something weird, I might have a remedy for it.
Nope, just my accent there, sir. Hate to. Nothing medically wrong here.
Oh wow, the kids really go through puberty rather soon these days. Is that facial hair? My goodness.
Milo's just like, sir, I'm a halfling.
Half of what?
What'd you say this guy was?
An old
elf?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so this dude's... sir, we have a question. We're actually looking for possible other healer. Is there another healer in this town other than yourself?
Well, no, I'm the best healer there is.
Oh boy.
Well, what about somebody who can deal with,
Curses.
Curses? What kind of curses? Oh, like how you're an adult in a young boy's body?
Sure, we'll go with that kind.
Well, I wouldn't know how to figure that one out. I wouldn't think.
Well, is there anybody else? Milo just kind of looks. Well, would you happen to know anybody in this city that would be able to?
That kind of riffraff? No, nobody you want to talk to, I would imagine.
Well, that's not a no. What do you mean I wouldn't want to talk to?
Like, no one you would want to be seen in public with? Did you hit your head? You could tell me if you hit your head. I think I might have a remedy for it.
Milo glances at Shishida. You wanna help out here?
This is she kind of like rubs the back of her head. Listen, do you just answer the question? Do you know of anyone that can cure curses?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Can I see if this guy's like
Insight check.
bullshitting me?
You could try.
20, baby!
I see into your soul.
You can't tell if he's lying. Like, he's not giving off, like, lying vibes.
But is he like holding back stuff? Is I guess what I'm.
Yeah, he more or less seems like he's just not telling you the whole story.
Zashida sighs.
I wish I had thought to redo some spells.
Zashida is just like, please, sir, we really need the help. If you know of anyone, please tell me.
Well, there is one person. I'm not quite sure how to get in contact with her. She goes by the name Morgantha.
Morgantha.
Yeah.
And she stays here in Vallaki?
Not typically. She comes and goes. But she's here often, selling her dream pies and things of that nature.
Do you know what area of Vallaki she sells this stuff?
Typically close to the festival yards.
I see. And she kind of gives him a few gold pieces, like 3 of them, as a thank you. It's a thank you.
But a thank you's a thank you. This is just rocks, my dear.
Rocks that are worth a lot.
For who? Not for me, surely.
And she kind of looks at him puzzled. What do you mean?
What am I going to do with these rocks?
It's a type of currency.
Currency. Huh. Pickle pockle.
She kind of looks over to Milo like, what is happening right now?
You know, back in my day.
Oh, no.
And I kind of asked them, I'm like, so if I was to
You
buy
talk?
some of
Oh
your
my
services-
goodness. I thought
yes,
you were
yes.
just a decoration.
Well, no. If I was to like buy some of your services, what would I? How would I? How would I pay for these? What does your currency look like?
Pay? I usually just send people off on errands and then they go and do them and then come back.
Ah, I see. Services. Okay, I got it.
Okay, well, as a thank you, is there anything I could do for you to help you?
Oh, could you pick me up one of those dream pies? They're rather delicious.
Sure, I don't see why not. May I have your name?
My name's Voknor. That's
DM, how
Nor.
DM, how do you
Huh?
spell that?
Bach?
V-O-K.
He is going. He is going under the enemies tab.
Oh,
Wow.
Now, look, I don't know if he's an ally, so I don't know where else to put him. All right, I can't put. I'm not putting him in general notes or organizations, and other is already littered with other things. It's not my fault that he's being real weird and old and like kind of crazy.
How dare he be old?
He insulted you. He thought you weren't even a real thing.
I don't even know if I'm a real thing. I think therefore I am.
Noir?
You said those were dream pies?
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure. Oh, gana lana lana. Excuse me. The two gentlemen you have outside the shop. Why are they there?
Usually to make sure no one steals anything if I'm taking a nap.
Right. I look around the shop. What do I see? Like what is this guy selling here?
Just your average potions and other things of that alchemist variety.
So just so I'm clear on how your business runs, you don't actually sell these. We have to go do something in order to get one of these.
Yes.
Right. How long you been in business?
All my life. What?
And how old are you?
Well, that's poppycock.
I don't know how to talk to people, even I know that's
You know,
a little rude, but
When I was your age, I had respect
Oh
for my elders.
no. Where's Pops?
Perhaps we should go.
I agree.
I'll just shrug. After you.
Yeah,
And
well, I'm walking out.
Yeah, we
Mazura just awkwardly kind of leaves.
And
yeah, I'll follow, I guess. Bye.
By a rather large talking thing.
I'm not crazy, right? I think that was weird. After we get out of earshot of the guy, which I imagine is like 10 feet.
He did seem a tad eccentric.
I've never met anyone like him before.
you
You know, coming from the druid who doesn't really go into civilization, you know.
He seemed nice enough, he's just old.
Yeah, he kind of seemed like he was missing a few screws.
I could probably help him with that.
That's super paranoid about a guy that was holding a shovel.
We did follow the goat.
Okay, because the DM said the guy with the shovel bumped into us and then hurriedly walked away. That seems like a real weird thing for a DM to just like
Bumped
throw at
into
us.
y'all and then hurriedly walked away. Man's got places to be with his shovel. You know what I'm saying?
To lay in an alleyway and nap. Like let's not get into this like we're just like we're hunting every little thing. You brought that up. It wasn't like, hey, I look around and there's a guy with a shovel. I don't trust him. Follow him. No, you said that he appeared in front of us. There's a major difference between those things. Don't try to spin this like my guy's crazier than he is.
I mean, technically.
I mean,
y'all
is he,
appeared
though?
in front of
Don't
the
get me
old
wrong.
Man.
Well, that's yeah, we appeared in front of him, but at the same time, like that was
Yeah, we walked into his shop where he was asleep with the door open, which is still weird, but whatever.
We literally walked into a guy's shop and we're just like, this guy's weird.
On that note,
He doesn't. How does a guy not know what? How does an elf not know what a halfling is?
because this is Barovia.
And halflings don't exist here?
Most
I guess
of the
not.
More exotic races are harder to come by.
Halflings that exotic?
I mean, if he thinks they're children, maybe
He's an
met
elf.
halflings
Let's not
before.
pretend. I was gonna say, let's not pretend like he is like this was like an old guy, like an old human. I could understand. Sorry, you were got to go on, have a send us on break. I'll.
What's the word? Are you saying that elves can't be senile?
I'm saying they can be, but I'm saying if he's been around for a couple hundred years, I imagine at some point during his time frame.
if he's senile, though, I mean,
True,
And
true.
if he's been trapped in Barovia, like, sanity ain't gonna be on par with the average goer. But yes, we're gonna take a 5-minute break. And we will be right back. Ladies and gents, let me play y'all some music, because y'all like music.
Alright. Snack time.
No, that's not a long song at all.
To rank, but that hasn't unlocked yet.
I'm gonna cry when we have to fight her in Master Rank.
Yeah.
Well, hello, ladies and gents.
And goodbye.
So where do we leave off?
Just
Someone
leaving
making
the
fun
alchemist
of that
shop.
Old man.
We weren't even making fun of him.
Maybe
We
he
were just
needs
saying he was a
friends.
little off.
You put him on the enemy list.
You're in Barovia, and you're saying an old man is a bit off.
Yeah.
Just trying to put that into perspective.
But yeah, we just left the alchemist shop, and I guess we're gonna head to the place where Morgantha normally sells her dream pies.
The dreams. Back.
So as you make your way in that area, you see that there's a lot of shops and tents and other things that are being set up, put together within this big field area.
Alright, well, she should be in this area if she's selling her moon pies, or dream pies, whatever you want to call them.
What should I roll to see if Mazra sees anything that stands out?
Whoever's looking, just do a perception check.
Well, Zashida got a 14.
20.
Milo got a 21.
11.
I just love how the two I love how the halflings are the ones that can see the best.
You're able to smell something that's cooking. Seems like meat pies.
Is it the rock?
The Rock. Oh my gosh.
Really? Really? I was gonna say, are we not gonna get that reference?
It's not. No, it's not Dwayne The Rock Johnson. We cannot smell what The Rock is cooking.
Unfortunately. Well, I mean, we don't know. We could be. Could be. Watch it be Dwayne the Boulder Flanson.
Coffee with Dwayne Rockin' Johnson.
Who are you? Hey, I know you now
It's
too.
it's Dwayne the Boulder Donson. That actually hurt my head trying to I was like, how do I spin that? How do I say that word? Right. Milo smells like kind of like a meat pie. Is that what you're saying? Well, kind of start heading that way. So, well, smell pie.
I do too.
I guess lead on then. We'll follow you.
Probably help fat a nose.
It doesn't take you long, and you see a stand that says "Dream Pies."
I think this is the stand we're looking for.
And Mazura approaches the stand.
Hey, DM, is there anyone at the stand?
No.
There's an old woman sitting there. She doesn't seem to notice Mazra.
Excuse me?
That's
I
Laura
said
like,
she
"Oh,
doesn't
sorry."
notice you.
Did I stutter when I said I walked up to the So as you call out to her, she looks down and she's like, you're new around here.
Are you Morgantha?
Yes, are you here for my dream pies, my dear?
Actually,
I am, actually.
I have needs of other services. If I was told you could provide.
What kind of services?
Curing of a curse.
A curse? Come here, dear. Well, come into the light. I can see you. She has like a candle that's on her stand.
Azra draws closer.
One of those curses. Tell you what. After
I can't help you.
Finish shop here, I will meet you at the what's the name of it? The Blue Water Inn. We could talk more there.
What was that name again?
Blue Water Inn? Yeah.
Okay.
Milo just gonna go ahead and just cast the tried and true. The Divine Sense.
Okay.
Celestial Fiend or Undead.
Sacred Flame.
Within 60 feet.
You don't seem to notice anything.
I don't seem to notice anything, or there's nothing to notice.
Both.
Those are two very different answers.
Where is?
Like the cut of her jib. She's good to go.
Nope, you don't.
Turns out the thing is 65 feet away. You wouldn't have never seen it.
This whole time they've just been tracking you. Insert paranoia. But no, you don't notice anything.
There is nothing there, or I don't notice anything.
Both.
Those are different answers.
Not different answers. If you don't notice anything, then there's nothing in your 60-foot range.
No, there's a difference between you don't notice anything and there
No,
not being
because
something
your
there.
ability
You don't
would
notice
still
there's a
set off.
spider under your desk right now, Stax.
my
That doesn't mean that the
gosh.
spider's not there.
The semantics police.
Yeah. When I got a DM who
Why
does
are
some
you
sneaky.
overanalyzing your ability? It's 60 feet. You don't notice anything in the 60 feet.
It's not that it's not me overanalyzing my power. It's me trying to make sure that you're not trying to. I'm trying to make sure you don't genie me with your worded, your verbiage.
Buying meat pies.
Your verbiage.
He's just,
Look.
off shift. But you don't
saying,
notice him because that's
your
how
verbiage.
divine sense works.
Look, your verbiage, all
It's
right?
not even verbiage. It's your ability.
I know it's my ability. That's why I'm making sure that you're not trying to well, you see, he's not quite undead.
So here's
He's
the
only
thing.
half undead, therefore.
If I had something that could prevent the divine sense from working, you still wouldn't notice it because that's how it would work. But you don't know.
Moving on.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Milo kind of approaches the stand. So what exactly is in a dream pie?
Happy thoughts. Good intentions. Best meat pies in all of the lucky.
I'm gonna do an insight check.
What meat is it?
18.
Tender meat. Why? Do you want one?
I'm sorry. Tender is not a type of meat. What type of meat is it?
The meat kind. What is wrong with you?
I don't trust this shit at all. You're like, oh, okay, Sweeney Todd, get the fuck out of here. Like, why are you being weird?
Yeah, I guess we're being weird. We need one of these for our friend. How much?
That's not even paranoia. That's me asking. Like, come on.
How much is the pie?
1 gold apiece.
Oh, God, jeez. Some
That's a
expensive
steep price
information.
for a fucking pie.
Some expensive information you got, Cheetah.
Sashida, yeah, just gives her the gold piece. Here you go.
Here you are, 1 meat pie. Come again.
Thank you.
I believe our friend has a question for you, and I kind of push Mazura to the front.
She already.
yes.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay, I must.
Klugo grabs her and pulls her back. Never mind.
You all are senile. Away with you. Crazy.
You ain't senile.
You
Talking
forgot
about-
the conversation we just had because we went off on tangent of how his divine sense works.
No, it was on your verbiage. Second, I don't.
Oh my
you know,
Lanta. Alright,
you're also
Zashida is
being
gonna go
super
back
nice.
to the alchemist shop to give the pie to Vaknor.
Oh, thanks. These are my favorite. And he starts like nibbling on the crust.
You know what kind of meat are in these by chance?
What did you say?
I'm asking Vulcan. I was like, you know what kind of meat's in there by chance?
Delicious meat. Why?
Ah, got it.
That's. I don't trust that shit at fucking all.
Hey, whatever.
This ain't even Milo being paranoid. This is Paul being like, they're dodging the fucking question. Way too much.
And as he eats the pie, he kind of like sits there. He has like a dreamy face on. He's like, such a good
Drugged pie.
It's actually just full of Rufalin.
What kind of pie is it?
It's
like
edible.
pie flavored.
No, like drugs.
They're edibles.
It's actually not even a pie at all. It's just stuffed full of heroin. All right.
And Sashida's just like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna try that pie.
I mean, I would if it did anything for me. Seems kind of counterintuitive to spend a gold on nothing.
Do you want a piece?
No, it's quite all right.
Oh, good. More for me.
Hey, let me have a bite of this.
Oh gosh. And she's
He like breaks.
she just like,
Take
Klugo,
a bite.
are you sure that's a good idea?
I'm already eating the piece.
Klugel gets
How does it-
15 temporary hit points.
Oh.
Oh god, and then when we try it, something bad's gonna happen.
I don't care. I'm not risking that. That's gonna be like some fucking human flesh. We're gonna
How-
get some fucking. We're gonna get the shakes.
Two things. So how does it taste? And how long do these hit points last?
Till the next dawn, and it tastes. Does Klugel have taste buds?
So he can eat and do all that. It just doesn't do anything for him. So it's not
Okay.
nourishment, but he can still eat and taste and all that. Same with smell.
It just tastes like something familiar, but not at the same time. And the crust is very good and tender.
This is really good. I'd say like Mother used to make, but don't exactly have Mom.
Oh
This is really good. You guys should have some.
Or Forge not have
Good.
theirs?
They have creators.
This is driving forward two things in my mind. Either A, Stax didn't actually think of what the heck to put in the pie, or B, Stax doesn't actually know what goes into a meat pie, other than the pie crust and meat.
And
You guys are just mad because I got 10 hit points.
Sashida kind of like takes Klugel's word, and she's just like, all right, I guess I'll try a piece.
thought you didn't need meat.
Want me to share more? Okay.
If you don't want to,
Hands
you
are
don't.
like a little piece. It was slightly smaller than the piece he gave to Klugel because he thought that that was the piece that he was gonna get.
I'm sure we'll be back, and then we'll get you more pie some other time, old man.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Little do we know this old man is surviving. He has 1 pie a day.
Oh gosh.
Otherwise, he dies.
It's Ashita takes a bite. Why not?
Okay. Zashida gets 15 temporary hit points and
15 temporary damage.
Make a Constitution saving.
Oh no.
Sign you guys, I'm resistant to poison and immune to disease.
and advantage for the next hour on all saving throws.
Ooh. But I'm assuming it
Excuse me, I
tastes.
would like to enjoy the rest of my meat pie, please, by myself. No more sharing.
Would Sajita be able to recognize what kind of meat it is, considering like
Maybe.
Regardless, I'm gonna let the old man be. I'll be like, good day to you.
I mean, she would probably know what like pork and beef and chicken tastes like, but she, out living in the wild, she would, eat more wild game than domesticated.
It doesn't have like a wild gamey taste, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, so she probably wouldn't know.
so we've eliminated deer and rabbit. The chances of it is like, does it taste of chicken?
Another question: do humans taste like chicken?
That's gotta. Look, all I'm saying is we have eliminated some things. We have not eliminated human.
Hey man, I'll do a lot for 15 temporary hit points.
Now as for a bite of the pie, who only knows what you get for a whole pie?
Fair enough.
Milo won't find out, I'll tell you that much. In here with that.
Don't mind it. I'm looking at that.
Right. Well, since we found Morgantha, I guess we have to go wait at the inn now.
Sounds good to me.
She did say she would meet us there later.
Well, I guess we should be on our way then, and perhaps we could get something to eat while we're waiting.
Yeah.
Milo just kind of laughs. Yeah, something that can tell us what it is.
It's gonna be the running joke. Nobody's gonna know what kind of meat this stuff is made of anymore.
Milo's about to be a vegetarian if that's what it comes to.
As y'all are heading to the Blue Water Inn, periodically between Klugel and Zashida, you're getting like nice nostalgia factors of like nice memories of your childhood, whatever Klugel's childhood would indicate.
When I made the bird, I'm just like, oh. I remember when I first made you.
It's just like chirp, chirp. Tinker, chirp.
Clockwork noises.
But yeah, eventually y'all make it to the Blue Water Inn after a couple of redirections.
And I guess we're all sitting at the same table at this inn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's an ideal situation.
How many people are in the inn? Like, is the inn like packed? Okay.
At least 30 people, other than you all, not including.
Is the crowd primarily human and elves, or are they just mostly human?
Elves, dwarves. But
So a
majority
menagerie of I was like, so a menagerie of races, not just elves and humans. Okay, good. So that other elf was just fucking crazy. Okay.
No halflings other than you two.
Yeah, but then mistaking me for a dwarf, then not mistaking me for a.
Okay.
All right.
There's no way. There's no way you can mistake. Even a dwarf
Oh, yeah.
child does not look like a halfling.
Anyway.
They come out stout and they stay stout.
Anyway. Milo will head up to the bar. What's the bartender look like? Am I getting anything in that,
Sorry,
or?
I'm looking at what dwarf babies look like.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You might want to make sure you put D&D in there.
On with a full beard.
It's just like beard.
But so Milo's gonna head up to the bar. He's
Human male. Just
How
cleaning
you
out
doing?
counters. Can I help you, sir?
yeah. What kind of food do you guys have here?
We have an assortment. We have the shepherd's pie, the beef stew, the actually, we have a soup. Some type of soup.
Some type of soup.
What kind of meat's in it?
Now your beef stew is actually made of beef, right? Like cow.
He's like looking at you like you're very, very strange. Yes.
Been one of those. Just making sure. Can I get a? He kind of looks back at the table. We get 2 orders of those, and you got any bread?
Yes, sir. We do have bread.
Can I get a loaf of that as well? And then round of drinks, if you'd be so kind.
What type of drinks would these be?
You know,
Probably
drinks.
Probably keep it to water for now.
Okay. And that's the water drinks with actual water in them, right?
Yeah,
Making sure.
yeah.
I'll make sure you get the bread with the bread and the meat with the meat and the drinks that have the thing that you said the drink should have in them. Gotcha.
Yes, Rufalin.
And then he goes off to start making, well, telling somebody to make all this stuff.
Milo heads back to the table and sits down.
Shortly,
Everything all
the
right?
water drinks come out because they're just water.
Yeah, everything is all right. Just really enjoying this town. Just people.
Did I make an insight check on that?
Sure.
A 15.
You can kind of see what Lady St. Cloud saw earlier, just like,
I would
Milo's
like to
saying
try to
stuff,
roll.
but,
I would
like-
like to roll deception.
oh, go ahead.
Oh no.
Nat 20 for a 24.
You don't notice anything off.
You think I'm being legitimate as hell.
And so she's like, okay.
The man's on his last screw.
I'm still living the nostalgia, tweaking with my bird. Remember when you were just a pile of
No,
screws?
you read through it. I just didn't want you to have auto win stacks to describe it.
Oh god.
Zashida, you're getting nostalgias of your first hunt that went successful.
And she's kind of like just sitting there with like a grin on her face. That was a good one.
Milo kind of looks at her and looks around at the rest of the table. What was a good one?
Oh, sorry, I was just getting a memory of my first hunt.
Yeah, those dream pies, I'm slightly concerned. But I guess that'll be for another time.
Pretty tasty, man. That's coming from a guy who doesn't eat much.
Yeah, but I don't really trust anything that when I ask what's in it, they just say food.
I mean, isn't that what's in all food?
Now when I ask for specifics and I get told, when I ask what kind of meat is in my food, and they just say meat, typically speaking, this is just, being, well, living in barracks.
I mean,
That's not exactly something you want to eat.
Besides the meat, the protein to fat, the combination, really all meat's kind of, and I start like going into a spiel about how all meat's kind of the same, and
Milo just kind of looks at him and nodding. No longer listening, but at least nodding to humor him. To humor him. He doesn't want to feel, he feels bad. Klugel doesn't talk a lot about, Klugel hasn't been able to talk a lot about the things that Klugel wants to talk about recently.
Science! I go on for about 5 minutes about meat. Then I'm like, but that's about all, I don't dabble too much into the foods.
Anyway. I'm interested to see what she can do for Mesra.
Same.
If not, I got plan B. I'm gonna hold out like a bottle of holy water.
And Sashita's like, absolutely not.
Oh my god, see, my joke missed its mark.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
-1 charisma, hey.
Roll for humor, and I rolled a 0.
Roll for social awkwardness.
Nat 20.
Nat 20, yeah.
Okay, so Milo was just kind of looking around the rest of the bar, just kind of like looking at the other people in here. Like, are they like a lively bunch? Are they celebrating, or are they just kind of like sitting down eating? Like, this is just kind of like a pub, like they're just out here like just to have a meal.
The latter, mostly out to have a meal. Some people are engaged in like really heated conversation of like emotional joy, but other than that, not really anything outside of normal tavernisms.
Okay.
Eventually your food comes out and gets set down in front of all of you. It's like a big smorgasbord of you make your own plate, but here's the pot type deal.
We'll dig in, I guess.
Mazura helps herself.
Sashita kind of gets her plate going, and as they're eating, she's kind of just like playing with her food a bit, not really like eating.
You okay, Sashita?
Yes, I'm fine.
Milo,
Sure.
Milo takes a second while you guys are talking and kind of slips out back to the bar.
Ah, you again.
Here, can I get a bottle of wine to the table?
Is this bottle with wine in it? Or do you just want a bottle of previously owned wine?
I'm surprised Milo hasn't strangled this dude yet.
I'll kill you!
I'll fucking kill you! This halfling jumps over the bar. He grabs a bottle and he hands it to you, and he's like, "Relax, guys. You look like you've had a hard day for no reason. Go drink your wine."
Is it open?
It's got like a stopper on it, but it's not like a
Okay.
stopper.
It's not like a cork. Okay. Thank you. How much for the food and the wine?
It's already paid for.
He looks up and cocks
Here
an
we go.
eyebrow.
Just joking.
By who?
It'll be about 5.
Jeez. Milo just kind of like puts a hand on his chest for a second, like. He puts 5 silver on the counter.
Nice.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You have a wonderful evening.
You too.
He goes back to the table. Sorry, you guys continue the conversation you were gonna have.
Are you sure you're all right, Zashida? You're not eating.
I'm not that hungry.
Zashida, you find
neither am I.
that you're rather satiated from the small bite that you had of the dream pie.
I'm sorry, Sprecken's the English.
You feel
You're full.
kind of full. Yeah.
You're not hungry, like legitimately not.
That's literally like what I
Yeah.
said.
But you do crave more dream pie.
Oh
Just like in
no.
the back. Like you can't eat anything in front of you, but if somebody brought out a dream pie, you probably would eat.
No con save on that one. Just straight to the craving of the drugs. Just straight to the heroin.
Oh no.
Milo
Heroin
comes back with
addiction.
the wine. Kind of pops a bottle and pours Zashida some. Might enjoy some of that a little bit more. Pours himself one. Measure?
No, thank you.
Fair enough. He looks at Klugel and is about to offer it. Never mind.
It's like, you know me so well.
Alright, first force a habit. Milo just kind of begins eating dipping the bread in the broth and all that. Just kind of eating. Waiting on Lady Magalalalaka.
How long do you think it's gonna be until she gets here?
She said she wouldn't arrive until she was finished selling her pies.
Oh, Lord only knows how long that'll be.
I could just see Shishida being like, "It won't be long. I'll be right back."
Oh no! Cause I'm addicted to. Relative, it's about an hour and a half that y'all are at this tavern before people start to like file out and head home. It's starting to get dark. Relative about 7 o'clock at night, mostly, maybe, if you had to pick up time. And eventually the doors to the Blue Water Inn open up, and Morgantha walks in, and she obviously notices you all, lead to Klugel, and makes her way over to the fort. Ah, my dear. And she hands Mazera a vial of clear liquid. Drink a sip of this tonight, and another sip in the morning, and the rest at midnight tomorrow. Can you remember this?
Hold on, let me... that was a sip tonight and a sip tomorrow?
Yes, as soon as you wake up. First thing.
So a sip tonight, a sip tomorrow morning, and then finish it at midnight tomorrow?
Exactly.
So the midnight thing, is that super? It could be like a minute off, or does it have to be exactly at midnight? We don't have
Exactly
watches.
at midnight. Not a moment
how do we-
later, not a moment sooner.
How do we know when it's exactly midnight?
I don't know. I just
That'll
make
prepare.
potions.
Fair enough. Let me set the ye old sundial.
Ye old sundial!
How much for the potion?
Oh, nothing. Did you like the meat pie?
Yeah, you got any more by chance?
Oh no!
Well, I happen to have like a couple of more. I was going to sell them tomorrow, but I guess I could sell them today. Do you have the gold?
Of course, and I handed her a gold for a pie. I usually
The
don't
sheet
like
is fighting
food.
it.
I usually don't like food, but you know.
The sheet is fighting it. She's fighting it.
She like hands over the pie across Zashida to Klugel. Zashida, make a Constitution saving throw.
And I have advantage, correct? On all
Yes.
saving throws.
Even against the very pie that gave it to her.
20.
Nice. You decide not to grab that particular pie from.
Now I decide, I'm like, as I'm eating, I'm like, Zashida, would you like some? I mean, this does more for nutrition for you than it does for me.
Zashida,
No, I'm.
make another Constitution saving throw.
What?
Oh no, 13.
It's getting a little bit harder to say no,
Ah!
but you still manage to say it.
No, I'm fine. Excuse me. And she gets up and she leaves.
Jeez. Anyone else wants some now? I look over to Mazera and,
No, thank you.
more for me.
Milo kind of looks at it. Never did say what kind of meat was in there.
Family recipe. I will see you all tomorrow. I know.
Thank you.
Oh, anytime.
Hey. Given the amount of time, I will eat this entire pie.
Nice. You get the full benefits of it, which is until your next long rest, you have plus 30 hit points. You have advantage on all saving throws, and advantage on all skill checks.
Boo, we're probably gonna long rest here soon anyways. But,
Yep.
delicious pie!
It tastes even better than the first bite.
Ah. Yes, you should really have some. I don't even eat now like this. You guys should have some. It's really good.
I mean, not now. You ate the entire pie in front of them.
I mean, I'm talking as I'm eating.
Oh.
Milo sits and is like, no. There's actually, hold on. Is he still in the process of eating it, or is he like actually eating the entire thing already?
We'll do in the process of it. It would take me a second. I would not just scarfing it down. I'm
22
eating it.
AC? Holy poop.
Oh, maybe I have a 23 AC. This, for some reason, won't let me upgrade my armor.
And I cast Detect Magic at first level.
You don't sense any magic coming off of it, if that's what you're using it.
So there's no magic on the pie at all, period. And the Divine Sense did not pick up any undead coming from the pie. Okay. What the fuck is in that pie, then?
Deliciousness! Stay away from my pie! Even though I'm trying to share it with you guys.
Stay away from my pie that I offered.
Exactly.
I only offer it once.
Soon enough, I'm gonna start biting hands when people get near it. Ah!
Are you saying we're gonna have to put a muzzle on you?
Beep, boop, boop, bop, boop, boop, beep.
Yeah, let's just remove the lower jaw. It's gonna be way easier.
Joke's on you, I can still talk. I don't even need to breathe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can still talk, but you won't be able to bite us. Okay, so she dipped out already. So like we didn't even.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. She gone.
She passes
So it
Shido
was-
on our way out. You sure you didn't want a pie, do you?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, well, you know where to find me. And then she like makes her way off. You actually don't know where to find her.
I don't like anything about these fucking pies. I do not like anything about these fucking pies.
Are you saying that aloud, or
Yes. I don't like anything about these pies.
what's not to like about it? They're delicious.
Well, let me put it like this there, my man. But the one person that we saw eat it outside of you two was spaced out, was just zoned out of his mind. Now that could be because he was an old elf, or it could be that he's been eating moon pies for Lord knows, for gods know how long. So,
Make a
I'm
perception
sorry
check, Milo.
perception check?
Yeah.
Okay. 19.
As you're talking to him, you're noticing the other people in the tavern are all like nibbling on these dream pies.
Oh no!
Note it, there's a lot less people in the tavern, about maybe 10. But yeah, all of them are spaced around, and they all have pie.
But yeah, as I'm saying it, I look around. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go find out how much it'll cost for us to get a room.
And that's just saying
Yeah.
how much it'll cost. I'll be like, for another pie?
Let's get a room towards the back.
Yeah. And Mazura goes up to the counter. Excuse me.
Ah, are you related to the other guy?
No.
Oh, yes, man.
How much is it to rent a room for the night?
It is a silver for a room of 2. I know.
So it would be 2 silver for 2 rooms.
Yes.
And Mazura pays for their rooms.
Oh, okay. And he hands you off 2 keys. They're just up
Thank
at
you.
the top of the stairs. You can't miss them.
Thank you. And she goes back to the table. It got us 2 rooms.
Appreciate that. You notice? I point out everyone else is eating moon pies in this place. To Mezra, like you getting a bad vibe, or am I crazy?
It is a little unsettling.
Yeah,
I do
as
start
long
to notice. I'm like, maybe I should. I kind of like take out like a baggie and put like a piece of the pie in it, like a small piece. Yeah, it's a study. Eat the rest. Study after.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind trying to figure out what the hell is in that thing, because as far as I can tell, there's nothing necessarily undead in there, and there's no magic radiating off of it, so...
It is a bit strange.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about what is in these things, because if they're being able to play with their minds, because I mean, even Zashida, is Zashida still away from the table?
I think she's still
She's outside.
Yeah. Zashida's zoned out for a minute to the point where she started out loud talking about a memory she had. So,
I've been alert this whole time.
Flugel, I'm going to level with you here, man. You kind of start going off on tangents on the drop of a dime, so you kind of talking randomly isn't exactly something new. No offense meant by that, by the way.
Fair enough, I guess. You're not wrong.
But I don't know. I get a bad vibe. This whole place, this entire damn. Since we've entered this fog, I've just been having bad vibes. And this one's even worse because, well, it seems people are partaking of it willingly.
I mean, if you had some, it's delicious.
I'll take your word for it.
All right.
I've already got enough vices. I don't think I need another.
I just have a flask full of pie.
Pie flask. Anyway, yeah. So, I mean, Milo finishes his meal. All right. Well, do you want to go get Sashida and I'll go check out the rooms?
Guess I'll go get Zashida.
Yeah.
And she hands the room keys off to Milo and goes to get Zashida.
Okay.
Yeah, so Milo heads upstairs as she goes outside.
Mazera, are you, or actually, Zashida, are you trying to stay hidden, or are you just like off?
Oh no, I'm not trying to stay hidden. I just needed to get away from that pie.
Okay. Yeah, Mazera, you're able to see Zashida not too far off.
Zashida,
Mazera.
I got 2 rooms for us.
Sounds wonderful. Did Klugel finish that pie? Or
Yes.
that's probably for the best. Or not. She seems very conflicted.
It was such a good pie.
Are you going to be alright, Zashida?
Mazera
I
was
think
like,
Milo
"Well,
was-
because of my issues, and now you're getting issues, girl."
Addicted to pie.
Izra is genuinely starting to feel bad because she feels like she's done something wrong.
It seems just like... I think Milo was right. I think there's something odd about those pies.
Sorry, you wouldn't be in this situation if I hadn't been bit.
And Sashida kind of like raises a brow at her. This isn't your fault.
Can't help but feel like it is.
I could just see Sashida be like, "Have you tried not feeling that way?"
Tried not.
Have you tried not feeling that way? Oh my god, I never thought of that! Problem solved!
Unsolved, problem staying solved.
Oh, I'm going to head inside up to one of the rooms.
I think I'm gonna stay out here for a little while longer.
Right. Rooms are just at the top of the stairs.
Alright, I'll join you shortly.
Right. And Mazera goes in to one of the rooms.
Okay. And Milo, you said you went up to one of the rooms?
Yeah, I kind of poked my head in to kind of inspect the rooms to make sure, just to kind of like get a lay of them, like what's in them. Make sure there's nothing weird or creepy about them.
The second room door. You see 3 familiar faces, the 2 guards, and Lord North. In
Eat
this
sick.
room.
Oh, this just gets getting better and better.
And they're all eating pie.
Hey, modified.
Oh my god.
There's like a mountain of pies.
I'm like, mind if I have a bite? I start actually eating the pie.
Sure.
All right, you guys.
Milo!
Milo's looking at these motherfucker's like, y'all got some explaining to do.
I smelled the pie.
You could smell it.
Yeah.
Milo puts his hammer away that he had drawn when checking the rooms. Bob, Tom, what are you doing?
Eating pie, sir.
Hell yeah.
Milo was doing his best to remain calm, taking many, many deep breaths. How'd you get here?
There was someone that came into the window the other night, whisked us away. We woke up here.
With pie.
So you just been sitting here since then.
Yeah, well, the Lord got us a room, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, what have you been doing since getting here? Just, eating?
God, these are recent, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I'm just seeing my like, I'm gonna kill you.
You obviously checking things, right? You aren't just, check the food before just partaking?
I mean, yeah.
Or did you just partake?
I mean, yeah.
Really? So you, what's in it?
Meat, vegetables, these little crusty bits, and yeah, meat pie.
Just try one, man. Then you'll kind of know what's
He
in it.
like shakily hands you one. You wanna try one, maybe?
Milo's brow furrows into a scowl. Get that pie away from me. Hand me the javelins that I gave you.
Oh, okay, and he goes over, rustles them up together, hands them off to him.
So they're in one of the rooms that we had already booked.
Yeah.
Lord North. He kind of like changes his demeanor from like pissed off to like trying to be more
Like,
happy.
hey.
Lord North. What you seem to be doing better, sir.
Mm-hmm. Been staying nourished.
You happen to know how you ended up here?
No, I mean, as the guy said, we were whisked away and woke up in this village. Bit to get used to, but we made do.
How are your wounds healing up?
Seem to be making a full recovery, actually, now that you ask.
Mm-hmm. And who brought you up these pies?
Oh, we got them at the festival today. Well, the festival grounds. I think they're still setting up for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I would take it easy on those. From what I understand, they are quite addictive little morsels.
And he like looks around at like the 20 empty containers of where pie used to be. I don't see how that could be a thing.
I use divine sense again.
Still nothing.
Still nothing? Okay. Oh shit, do I have... Ooh, this didn't hang up. No, that's a different spell, isn't it? Shit. It's not Cure Wounds, is it? I'll get something like that. Yeah, that's well, I'll leave you guys here. Klugel, were you up there with me? I can't remember now if you walked up there with me or you.
Third pie.
He's eating.
He's up there. Okay. I wasn't sure if he was like saying that as a joke or if he actually meant he was up there eating another pie. We'll leave it to it. Klugel, let the Lord, the Paladins, eat. Imagine they're still pretty famished.
Oh, is he away from the computer?
Lugal?
No.
Okay, fine, be that way.
Sorry. Boy wants to go outside with his tablet. My apologies.
Yeah, you're fine. You, why don't we let them enjoy their food? You know, they might be a bit famished.
No.
No, I think I might hang out here for a little bit. Have some pie.
Look, well, I really think that we should turn in on our own side. I'm going to attempt to persuade him to put down the fucking pie.
Uncle, I want to be persuaded. I sleep less than you. I don't know what I'd roll against persuasion. Persuasion back. You should stay and eat some pie.
If you're not leaving, then I can't really stop you. Like I don't have.
You could try to persuade me.
Well, I mean, this isn't really like the roles. I think are more against NPCs. Like trying to persuade another player character is kind of horseshit. Because if I used a spell like command or something like that, that's one thing. But me like forcing you to do something,
Well, it's not
non-magically, it's
forcing,
kind of.
It's just you being very persuasive in the worst.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like convincing your drunk friend it's time to go home.
Yeah.
When all drunk friend wants to do is drink more drinks.
Well, look, you said it yourself. You don't really need the food for nourishment. So really, you're just eating to eat at this point, which is a little gluttonous, don't you think? Why don't you let them eat that and we can get you some more tomorrow.
I guess you're right. And I just kind of, fine, you guys need the pie more than I do. Kind of meander off.
Darn human in your flesh bellies.
God dang you, meat sacks. Yeah, I'll head off to bed with them.
Are you going back downstairs, Milo?
I close the door and lock it. Actually, was there any windows in these rooms? Like, what were the layout of these rooms?
Pretty much the same as the other inn tavern. One window.
So 2 beds, a nightstand, and then a window?
Mhm.
Okay. Kind of lock the door on the way out. Yeah. Lugo, how are you feeling, by the way?
I feel pretty good, actually. Reminds me of this time, and I start like reminiscing about like when I started building my pet friends.
I let it meander on as I wait on the girls.
And Mazra has come up the stairs. Did you check on the rooms?
Yeah, it seems we got double booked. Lord North is in one with the Paladins.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking. Lord North, Bob, and Tim are in that room there. And he points to the room that he just locked. Eating dream pies.
They're quite good.
But how?
According to them, they were whisked away in the night and ended up here. Got rooms and got pies from the festival grounds and then head back up here. It looked like they had about 20 some odd pies, or should I say empty pie containers, in there.
Well, at least they're safe, though I question the amount of pie they've eaten.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling about this festival. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but who did Lady St. Cloud say she was going to talk to when she got here?
She just said she was going to deliver another letter.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling that these people being a little doped up on moon pies might be something that Strahd has got his hand in.
Got his hand in these pies, you think?
He's got something in him, because as far as I can tell, it's not magic. And there's
Quite
nothing
delicious.
celestial or undead about it, but there's definitely something off. I'll see if I can prepare anything to help out with this tomorrow.
Oh, I'm going to try to get some sleep. I better drink a sip of this potion.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to tell Midnight with that as well. But yeah, you get some rest. I'll wait on Sashida and we'll figure out our next move.
Right.
Look, will you mind sitting and watching the room for a moment while I go find
Yeah.
Sashida?
I got some time. And I'll kind of head in. Hop
I look
over
at Klugel. No going out for pies, please.
I won't. I've had my fill, even though I don't fill.
And
Yeah.
Mazer.
He hands the room key to Mezra. Or Mazra.
Thank you.
I'll,
And
yep.
Mazera takes the key.
I'll go check on Zashida, make sure she's alright.
Right.
Sashida, have you make a perception check?
Ten. Hey.
Flat average.
You hear a voice from behind you. Oh, funny seeing you all here.
Zashida turns.
You see Madame Eva standing there.
Madam?
Yes, what brings you to Vallaki? Are you trying to cipher out those cards I gave you?
Well, we were in the process of doing that, but something kind of came up that we needed to take care of before we could continue.
What do you mean, my dear?
Well, and she proceeds to tell Madame Eva of their adventures in Strahd's castle and how Mazera was bit. And so now we're here trying to get a cure for her curse.
I see. Well, able to do it.
Do what?
And she kind of like leans in closer. Kill Strahd?
Honestly, I don't know.
You'll find that the longer you stay in Barovia, the harder it is to leave, more or less. And from the sound of things, you're going to get a lot more complications than eases. Should you stay?
Oh, you're telling me we should hurry up then?
I would put a little fire underneath it.
May I ask why you're here in Vallaki?
There's a Vistani camp out on the outskirts. Most of the Vistani is not really welcomed here, and I needed to make sure that I came for the next festival. But essentially, I am at the Vistani camp on the outskirts of town.
This festival, what's it for?
Your guess is as good as anyone's, my dear. The Baron, what is it? Let me look up the wording of it. The Burgomaster. The Burgomaster of this area is very inquisitive. He has different festivals every week. And they've been doing this at least for 2 years on end.
And there's just no real reason for these festivals?
None to what he's leading on to. Although, any wiser guesser can tell that there's probably something that's much deeper to it.
I see. Well then, if what you're telling me is true, and that the longer we stay, the more troubling this will be to defeat Strahd, I better go inform the others.
Might not be a bad idea, my dear.
Well then, take care, madam.
You too.
And, yeah, Cecita goes back to the inn.
Okay. And as you like make it to the doors of the tavern, you look back to see if you can see Madame Eva. Just a par, she's not there.
Kind of sends an unnerving chill down her spine.
When you walk in, Milo's coming around that time.
Milo.
Cheetah, you feel alright? No, seem to be having some trouble with the pies.
Be honest, no. And the pies are the least of our worries.
I don't know about all that.
I ran into Madame Eva.
He just kind of chuckles. Oh, this night's getting better and better. And, what did she have to say?
The longer we stay here in Barovia, the harder it's going to be to defeat Strahd and leave.
Alright. So we know it means, alright. I want us to move. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair. Did she give any details more on what these tarot cards are entailing, where we're supposed to go with these, or?
No. Our meeting was very brief.
Fair enough. Yeah. Speaking of brief meetings, Lord North is upstairs, along with the 2 paladins.
And she kind of tilts her head at him. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, they're just up there eating pies.
Now Shida is even starting to get a little frustrated. What is he planning?
I don't know. All I know is they don't remember. They got whisked away out of the room. They don't know how they got here. And now they're up there just gluttonously eating pie.
Definitely something up with these pies. I can't. It's very hard for me to resist those pies. Ever since I ate that piece.
We'll get some. I'll see what I can get prepared in the morning to see if I can find something out. Because as of right now, the best I can tell is that there's nothing undead or not abyssal. What's the word I want? Celestial about it, and there's no magic coming off of it. The best I can think is it might be some sort of poison or something to that extent that clouds the mind.
Perhaps.
But I won't be able to really tell that till the morning.
I might be able to look through the pie. I am quite knowledgeable in medicine. But the only issue is I'm afraid I might eat it if someone doesn't try to stop me.
Like I said, I think it might be best suited for the morning. Let me do a couple spells first, and then if I can't drum up anything from it, then we'll lean towards you doing a more physical inspection of them.
Very well.
It's, I think we're all going to be bunking up in one room tonight because Lord was, the bartender double booked us, so that's fun. Yeah, the second room is the one the Lord's in, which is why we know where they are. So we'll be bunking up. So,
all right.
I'll take first watch. You guys get some rest, all right?
Very well.
Milo turns and starts heading back up the stairs towards the rooms.
Nice.
Shida follows after him.
As the night's winding down, is there anything anyone else is going to do?
Mazura just took her first sip of the potion and she's already sleeping.
Okay.
Besides probably tying herself down to the bed so she doesn't go after looking for pies.
Milo
just sleepwalks,
takes the key and
shifts.
well, Milo locks the door from the inside and then kind of like just tucks the key away. Just because obviously between the Warforged and our shapeshifter, I kind of want to stop them from possibly leaving to cause more ruckus looking for pies.
The pies are so good.
Not that a wooden door would stop the Warforged, but it'd at least slow them down a bit.
People trying to stop the 2 biggest people in the party. Give me that pie! Well, ladies and gents, on that note, we are going to end Chapter 5 with the ominous dream pie lingerings in the back of everyone's mind. We're going to raid and go from there. But thank you, everybody, for stopping by. It was a pleasure. Come join us tomorrow as we do Dungeon Talk. And same time, except it'll be 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then check us this Friday for Waterdeep. So be looking out for that. I think we're also changing the time for that to 12 to 1 p.m. as well. Not Standard Time. No, wait, no. That one's going to be 11:30 to 12:30. Not Standard Time. But yeah, come check us out. We'll be here. We will all see you next time. And raid in progress.